Welcome everybody to Video Game Updates and welcome to World of Tanks. I'd like to welcome all you guys to the channel. Please take a minute before we get started to like the video, subscribe to this channel, hit the notification bell if you can. Thank you very much. That helps me tremendously. I really appreciate this. Anyway, let's get started with our video. It's 5/15/2026 and Last Stand is back. Those of you guys have played something like this, it's a little different this year. Just a little different. I played one round so far and it's a little bit different. Different in a way so that instead of using their vehicles, you're using your own vehicles. The vehicles that you own, that you accumulated, this is what you're using. So you can imagine how many vehicles you're able to run. Depending on how many vehicles you own, of course. Me, I own quite a bit. So the vehicles that you own that can be used will show up in Last Stand. The vehicles that you own that cannot be used will not show up in Last Stand. It just so happens I have a lot of vehicles, but not all of them are eligible for Last Stand. Now, if you'll notice, the vehicles are mostly tier 8s. My guess that keeps it sort of even. Also, there's another thing I noticed. Most of the vehicles are premium only. Granted, if I do pick regular tanks, it doesn't show them. It only shows the premium vehicles that I own. So very interesting. So you can use your own premium vehicles in this game, no matter what country it is. Tier 8 premium vehicles. That's what my guess is. Because that's all I only see tier 8s here, and I don't see premium vehicles. Anyway, once you decide what vehicle you're going to play, then you have to decide how the vehicle is going to get set up. First of all, pick any vehicle that you choose. I happen to have Type 59 up, so we're going to pick that. The first thing you pick is which three skills you want to equip that tank with. To do so, all you have to do is click the empty space, choose the skill you want to equip, click it, and pay for it. That tank is now equipped with that skill. Then you pick the next skill. Do the same. Then you pick the next skill. Then do the same. It tells you how much Miriam costs it is. Right there. Remember, it's just like the last stand. Every time you kill an enemy, the enemy leaves behind Miriam. You have to collect the Miriam as much as you can. You can then use that Miriam to activate and use your skills that you have. That's as far as I got, of course.
Top secret. Sector R-22, Siegfried Perimeter. The sky over the sector is torn apart. The funnel is constantly bringing echo tanks into our reality. The local garrison is holding the outer perimeter but is pushed to their limits. If we don't change the situation, a breakthrough is inevitable, or worse. The Atlas complex has been deployed under the anomaly center. This is our only hope for it to collapse. While the echo cloaking device is working, the enemy can't notice the complex. But the anomaly, it's learning. We're registering periodic bursts. This means an echo tank of an unknown type is materializing. Its objective is Atlas. When it reaches the point under the funnel center, it activates a gravitational pulse of such force that the vehicles turn into scrap, and their crews turn into... Already lost 3 Atlas complexes. Only a few more remain in our operational reserve. If we lose these last devices, we won't be able to close the anomaly. The breakthrough will be irreversible. Signature Curator. Project M.
Okay, now you know the story. The situation has gotten significantly worse. Worse than it was last year. So, the story is intensifying more and more. So, this is make or break. My guess is that if something's not done now, it could be that's it. Game over. Now, I know as much about how to play this as you do. So why don't we just start a game? I already have a tank all ready to go. Why don't we just start a game and find out how it's done? I got a tank already set up, but I didn't play anything yet. So I'm learning like you are. Let's do this. We're on newbie difficulty. Okay. Now, see that right there? That's the problem.
On the radar. Let's see how you handle them. The breach. This wave will be stronger than the last one. Attention! Get ready for an attack from the flank. The wave is repelled. Great job. Patch up your holes and collect Miriam. Well, that's finally something. A new enemy wave. You're gonna like it. New enemy group spotted.
Oh shit! I didn't realize those guys behind me. Oh fuck! Fuck me! I didn't realize those guys behind me.
Four of you left. Enemy destroyed. There's time to collect trophies.
They don't marry him.
There's a new wave coming. A more powerful one. Take defense.
Yeah, I see Miriam. Oh shit! You know, if you attack their treads, they can't move. The charges are fast. slow as balls. God damn, this is absolute chaos. Whoa. Stop the zero. So we have to stop him? He has 6,000 hit points. God damn. Oh, one hit and I'm dead? Are you serious? Ah. This is a lot. This is 10 times harder than last year. A lot harder. But it's fun. Man, I thought I had it bad. Holy shit.
We're losing tempo, guys. Just 1 minute left.
Nope, we lost.
It's not over, guys. We took a beating, but we have to pull ourselves together and hold out.
Okay, and that's how it's played. Apparently, I got called for inaction or desertion. You guys are my witness. I actually participated, so you guys are my witness. I participated in this battle. I didn't have any inaction. I didn't have any desertion. I guess it's Jesus, me leaving alone. I guess it just decided I wasn't good enough. So, anyway, that's Last Stand. Obviously, you have to really be on top of things, and obviously, I'm not. So, now let's get to this. You can purchase boxes if you want to. Let's find out what the boxes are all about first. Let's see. Come on, where's the store? Come on, there's the goddamn store. Okay. Okay. If you go in the store, it should say Last Stand Invasion. They have the Defender bundle. And they have premium tanks that are decorated for the event. And they have the tactical devices that you need for the tanks. These are the special abilities that you need for the tanks. You have to purchase them and equip them to the tank you intend on using. You can't just equip the ability to a tank, then use another tank, then expect to purchase that, then expect that ability to be there. No. One ability is purchased for one tank. That's it. You choose a different tank, you then have to purchase a new set of abilities for that said tank. I chose this one, and I think this one. Last year, I chose this, and this. I spent the entire time gathering Miriam and healing everybody. I also had a light tank too. So this year was just a tad different. Okay, also, you can purchase, as usual, boxes. You can purchase boxes if you want, except these are not boxes. They have shards. You can purchase shards if you want to. When you purchase a shard, it shows up right there. We're going to receive the shards, and we're going to find out what's in them. Okay, so we're going to open up these shards and find out what's in them. We're going to do it one box at a time and find out what's in them and what we're going to use them for. My guess, there might be stuff we could use for the event in here. So far, nothing for the event, but we did pick up free experience Personal Reserve, Universal Booklet, and 1 day premium time. Next box. Now we picked up another Personal Reserve, another Universal Booklet, which always comes in handy, and 3 days of premium time. Again, nothing more for the event. We shall see. It's glowing a different color. Hopefully something for the event. Okay, we have a fragment. I haven't figured out what these are for yet. We'll have to figure it out as we go. But so far we picked up something for the event. I will figure out what this is used for. When open, fragments may grant you vehicles, customization elements, in-game currencies, and other valuable rewards. Which means that we opened up and got these. Which means that we have to open up. We picked up another fragment to open up now. There's a fragment inside this fragment. In other words, this box contained another box in it. In a way, you buy one, get one free. That's basically what it is. So, now we got a Personal Reserve and a Universal Manual. Okay. So far, so good. Personal Reserve to credits, Universal Booklet, and 1 day premium time. Next box. Okay, we got a Personal Reserve 200% free crew XP, free or crew XP bonus. Universal Booklet, 1 day of premium time, and another shard that we can open. So, moving on to another shard. Keep saying boxes. I shouldn't say boxes. It's a shard, not a box. Personal Reserves, 50% to credits, 50,000 credits, and 1 day of premium time. Personal Reserve, 50% combat XP, the tanks, and Universal Booklet. Always handy. We could use it. Thank you. $200% free and crew XP. Universal Booklet and 1 day premium time. Next box. $50% combat XP for tanks, 1 Universal Booklet, and 1 day of premium time. Next box. Open her up. Personal Reserves for tanks, 50% to combat XP, 50,000 credits. Next box. $50% combat XP for tanks, Universal Booklet for crews, 1 day of premium time. Next box. Personal Reserve, 50% to credits, universal booklet, and 1 day of premium time. So far, so good. Looking good, guys. Looking good. Next. 50% bonus combat XP for tanks. 250,000 credits. Credits are always welcome. I'll take it. Apparently we got a rare box. A rare box gets us another box. So now in that one box, there could be something premium in that one box that we open. So which means one of these boxes we open, one of the box, every time you find a box in a box, that means you have something good in there. So 2 boxes we have to are guaranteed to get something good. 2 boxes. 200% free experience and crew XP. And 1 universal booklet. Next box. 50% combat XP for tanks. Universal booklets for crews. 1 day of premium time. Next box. Okay, here's our big box. 200% free accrue XP, 50,000 credits, 1 day of premium time, and 1 tier 11 I think it's a German tank. Yeah, it is. It's a German tank. It looks like a French tank, but it's really a German tank. It's a German medium. So far we got this. Not a bad pull, I'd have to say. It is a tier, well, it is a tier, well, that's a tier 9, I think. I think that's a tier 9. I think that's a tier 9. So, regardless, that's a pretty decent tank. So, whenever I get a new tank, I always immediately set it as primary. All new tanks are completely set as primary, automatically. So now we know it's a German tank. We have to set all new tanks automatically set to primary. And there's a reason why. Because they need to be set up. Always make sure you set up your tanks. If they're not set up, set them as primary. This way it'll remind you to set it up. Okay, now let's take a look at this tank and see what this tank does, and see what this tank can do. Instead of just jumping in, let's see if we can learn more about this tank. This tank has an average damage of 400, 515 for the gold rounds. Average penetration for the AP rounds is 270. For the HE rounds, the gold rounds are the middle rounds. So the AP rounds is 270. Gold rounds are 320. And the HE rounds are 60. Gun loading time is 10.4 seconds. that is not a very fast loading time. But if you use gold rounds, it might be worth it. If you use APHP, it'll be cheaper. It'll require a lot more skill, but it can be done. Average damage per minute, 2,308 HP per minute damage. Rate of fire 5.77. Dispersion is 0.3. Aiming time 2.2 seconds for it to get from this to this. So it's not fast, but it's not slow either. 2.2 seconds is average. Dead smack in the middle. So I would have to say this is not such a bad tank. What I would say is that this tank's armor, not so good. But again, this tank is a medium tank. You know, you can't expect medium tanks to have thick armor, because medium tanks are faster. You have to depend on the tank's speed. If the tank is moving fast enough and not stopping, they're going to have a hard time aiming at you, which means hits will do less damage. Now, they're comparing this tank to one tank I own. They're comparing it to the Object 257. Now, the Object 257 is heavy. This is a medium. They're comparing this tank with my Object 257 that I already own. And they're saying that I have that tank configured this way. So I might want to try and configure it that way. I could do it like that. Knowing me, I probably will. So, because that's normally the way I set up my tanks, regardless of what they are. All right. So now we know a little bit more about this tank. Let's move on to the next box. Or shard, I should say. We're going to open up 5 boxes at a time. Because the reason why we're opening up 5 boxes at a time, because we're getting more and more boxes out of it. So, box number 1. Combat XP and a universal booklet. Box number 2. Combat XP, 50,000 credits, 3 days of premium time, and another shard to open. Now, look very carefully at what it says all the way at the bottom right there. Open 45 more until guaranteed reward. So we have to open up 45 more boxes to get a guaranteed reward. A guaranteed reward is a tank or equipment or a 3D style, something substantial, which means we have to open up 45 more boxes in order to get a guaranteed reward. So far, we've only gotten one guaranteed reward so far. but we have more boxes to open. Every time we get one of these, that's another box we have to open. So, in reality, if you don't get anything, you want to get these, because if you get these, that's another box you have to open. Another box. Okay, now we have the universal guides. We have bonus to credits, free and crew XP, universal booklets, 50% to credit, 50% to combat XP for tanks, universal guide, 50% combat XP for tanks, another universal guide, 200% free and crew XP earned in battle for 1 hour. This is only for premium accounts. If you activate this one on a premium account, you will get this. You cannot activate this on a normal account. There are very special credits. They do not have special ones. They have special ones for crew and tanks. That's it. The crew ones, you're more likely to pick up a crew one from a box. Because the crew ones will get you more XP for the crew and more free XP. It gives you a chance to earn free XP instead of transferring gold from your tanks. It gives you a chance to earn XP. It gives you a chance to earn free XP. The only time you could earn free XP is through these. So if you don't need to jack your crew up, activate one, grind a tank, and you'll get free XP. 5 more boxes. Let's see what we got. We got another 2 boxes. Another 3 boxes. Okay. Every box we get, that's a possibility of getting something decent. So this is the usual stuff that I said before. This is always welcome. We could always use this. 50,000 credits. That's a good thing. Our premium time, always useful. More credits. And this is the tanks, the 50% tank XP. This is the standard personal reserve for credits. That's the standard personal reserve for credits. Okay, next 5. Okay, first box. Standard credits bonus. Universal booklet. Universal booklet. The standard combat XP for tanks. And 1 day of personal time. 1 day of premium time, sorry. The standard bonus to credits. 50,000 credits. 1 day of personal time. Another box. The more boxes you get, the closer you'll get to another reward. Think of it. Think of it like that. The more boxes they give you, the closer you'll get to getting another reward. 50,000 credits and standard tank XP. 5 more boxes. Let's open her up. First box. 50% bonus to tank credits. 50,000 credits. Another box. Standard credit bonus. Universal booklet. 1 day of premium time. Third box. A gold bonus to credits. A premium time bonus to credits. Premium time free and crew XP bonus. Universal booklet. The standard free and crew XP bonus. Universal guide. 1 day of premium time. And a free box. We have a standard tank combat XP. 50,000 credits. 1 day of premium time. And another free box. 5 more. Let's open her up. This is good. The more boxes we're getting, the more chance of getting another special item. So, more free crew XPs, more free crew XP bonuses, more credits, credit bonuses, more credits, another box. That's a good thing. XP bonus, universal booklet. 1 day of premium time. 4th box. Standard free and crew XP bonus. 50,000 credits. 1 day of premium time. 5th box. Standard combat XP for tanks. Universal booklet. 1 day of premium time. 5 more boxes. Let's go. First box, we have a 50% bonus for tanks, 50,000 credits, and another box. Second box, this looks like a standard. Yep, it is a standard personal reserve for free and crew XP. Universal booklet, 3 days of premium time. Third box, standard personal reserve for combat XP for tanks. 50,000 credits. My brain is absolutely falling apart tonight. This is horrible. Oh my god. We picked up another box to open. 4th box, we open it. We get a standard personal reserve, 50,000 credits, 7 days of premium time. Box number 5, standard personal reserve for tanks, 50,000 credits. Open up 5 more. First box, We have a standard personal reserve, 50,000 credits. We have a standard crew and free XP, a universal booklet, another box. We have the standard personal reserve for free and crew XP, a universal booklet, combat XP for tanks, standard personal reserve, 250,000 credits. Wow. That's insane, guys. That is a very good haul. 250,000 credits. Very nice. Another box. This is standard credits. 50,000. And another box. Next box, standard credit bonus, 50,000 credits. Standard personal reserve for free experience and crew XP. Universal booklet. Standard personal reserve. Universal booklet. 3 days of premium time. Another box. Standard personal reserve for free and crew XP. Another universal booklet. Universal booklets are excellent because they work with any country. 3 days of premium time. Standard personal reserve for free and crew XP. 100,000 credits. So far, so good, guys. 5 more. Apparently you must have gotten something. Apparently we must have picked up something good. Let's see what we got. We got a tank destroyer, and I think it's French. I think this is a French tank. Yes, it is. It's a Tier 8 Lorraine 120 Albi. I think it's a French tank. Let's take a look at this French tank and see what we got. First off, we have box number 1. A standard personal reserve. 50,000 credits. 1 day of premium time. Standard combat XP for tanks. 50,000 credits. 1 day of premium time. Standard personal reserve. Universal booklet. Standard personal reserve. For free and crew XP. Universal booklet. 1 day of premium time. 50% combat XP for tanks. Personal reserve. A universal booklet. 3 days of premium time. And a Tier 8 French tank destroyer. My bad. This is a Tier 8 French tank destroyer. Now, as per always, like I always do, I'm going to find said tank. Now, it's France, right? So what you do is just easiest way to do is search for the country, find the name, right click, set as primary, This way, when you check primary, the tank will be there and you can set it up on your own time. Always set your new tanks to primary. Always, until you can learn how to play them, until you get used to them. Any tank that you had that's new, always set that tank to primary. That's a trick I learned a long time ago. It gives you a chance to play the tank and get used to playing the tank. Okay, we have 53 more boxes to open. Let's get started. We're going to open up 5 more boxes right now. So here we go. We have standard crew and free XP bonus, 50,000 credits, another box, standard bonus to credits, 50,000 credits, 1 day of premium time. Box number 3 gives us a standard bonus to credits, 50,000 credits. Box number 4, standard free and crew XP. Okay, and we have, I think this is a universal booklet, I think. Yes, no, it's universal manual. The 250,000 crew XP. Okay, it's a universal manual. Manual, you have a universal leaflet, a universal booklet, and a universal manual. Each one has more XP attached to it. For example, this is a universal booklet. Booklets have 20,000 free XP for crew. This has 250,000 crew XP. So we got 2 boxes and 1 day of premium time in 5 boxes. Not bad. Moving on. Okay. We have a standard personal reserve for free and crew XP. 50,000 credits. Box number 2. Our standard personal reserve for tanks. 50,000 credits. Standard personal reserve for tanks. 50,000 credits. 1 day of premium time and another box. Standard personal reserve for tanks. A universal booklet. 1 day of premium time. 5th box. Standard personal reserve for tanks. 50,000 credits and 1 day of premium time. Open up 5 more. Box number 1. We have a standard personal reserve for free and crew XP, 50,000 credits, and an additional box. Box number 2. Standard personal reserve for credits, universal booklet, and a second box. Box number 3. Standard personal reserve to credits, universal booklet. Box number 4. Free and crew XP standard personal reserve, universal booklet, and a third box. Standard personal reserve for tanks, 100,000 XP, and 1 day of premium time. So this is the best box out of the 5 right there. 5 more. Okay, Standard personal reserve for tanks, 50,000 credits. Box number 2, standard personal reserve for credits. Universal booklet, 3 days of premium time, and an additional box to open. Third box, standard personal reserve for free XP and crew XP. Universal booklet, standard personal reserve for tanks, 100,000 credits. 1 day of premium time. Good box. Standard personal reserve for credits, 50,000 XP. So far, this is our best. This is the best box. Although I should say, this is the best box because this is definitely better than this. So this would be the best box so far out of the 5. Okay, we have free and crew XP, 50,000 credits. Box number 2, standard personal reserve for tanks, 50,000 credits, and an additional box. Box number 3, we have free and crew XP bonuses, 100,000 credits. Box number 4, standard personal reserve for tanks, a universal booklet. Box number 5, standard personal reserve for credits, and another universal booklet. 5 more. Okay, this is your average box, but this box gives us a lot of good stuff. These 5 boxes are by far the most stable boxes I've seen thus far. These are average. These are your free and crew XPs. These are your tank XPs, your tank bonuses, and that's your credit bonuses. Your 3 universal booklets, 50,000 XP, 50,000 credits, 100,000 total. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days of premium time in total. Out of 5 boxes, that is really awesome. Next 5. Okay, we have our standard bonus to credits, 50,000 credits, and 1 day of premium time. Box number 2, standard bonus XP for tanks, 50,000 credits. Box number 3, standard standard XP bonus for tanks, 50,000 credits. Box number 4, bonus XP for tanks, universal booklet, 1 day of premium time. Box number 5, bonus XP for tanks, 50,000 credits, and 1 day of premium time. Open up 5 more. We're getting very close. Okay, now we just jacked open it. Apparently we got the top tier box. The top tier box is called a core. The core boxes are guaranteed to give you something absolutely amazing. Guaranteed to give you something amazing. You can only hope and pray you get one of these bad boys. Okay. Now we know we have one of those boxes to open. So I'm looking forward to that. So first of all, we need to see what tank we got. We picked up a French heavy tank. Okay, we picked up a French heavy tank set as primary. It's now set for primary. Let's check its stats. Apparently it has a magazine loader, which is pretty much considered an auto loader. It has 2 shells in the magazine. So in a way, it's kind of like a double gun. It's like the double gun from the Russian tree from the Soviets. But the only difference is that instead of having 2 guns on one tank, it has 1 gun with a magazine. It has an auto-loading magazine that holds 2 shells in said magazine. In a way, it kind of makes sense because think of it this way. IS-3 had an autoloader built into it. That tank had a 5-shell autoloader in it. That was a heavy tank. The reason why it had a 5-shell autoloader is because the shells were not as big as these are. Now you have to understand, they used a gun with a thinner radius. If the gun has a larger radius, the shell is going to be bigger. It's going to be heavier. You try loading a fully loaded magazine with shells that are huge into a gun by hand. You can't do it. You can't even lift the magazine. Even with 2 people, it's impossible to lift a magazine with shells that big in them with more than 2. It's impossible. Not happening. So magazines for guns over certain millimeters, if guns have autoloaders and the guns millimeters, the width of the barrel is over a certain amount of millimeters, the shell, it has to be a certain amount of millimeters. Which means that if it's an autoloader can only handle 1, maybe 2, maybe 3 shells at max. Because that magazine has to be fully loaded with shells and then lifted and placed into the gun, snapped in, and lock it in place. So someone has to be strong enough to grab that magazine fully loaded and slam it inside the gun. So loading this monster must be a nightmare. Because if it only has a 2 shell magazine, those shells must be really heavy. So you may think Oh, it's great. It has an autoloader. That's awesome. This is no different than the Soviet Union's double guns. The Soviet Union double gun the Soviet Union double guns can fire one at a time, or they can fire both at the same time. I don't usually do that because I like having the option of firing one right after another. I don't usually use that function, but you can do that with double guns. With an autoloader, you're stuck with firing one right after another. With the double guns, you can fire one right after another or fire both at the same time. So what's better, an autoloader or having two guns? Having two guns gives you a choice on whether to fire both at the same time or one at a time. Autoloaders, you're stuck firing one at a time, but loading the guns is quicker with an autoloader than it is with a double gun. Double guns, each loader has to load their own gun. When you have one gun, the two loaders have to load that gun together. The both of them work together to load the shell in that gun. When you have an autoloader, one person has an empty magazine, fills the magazine with shells, the other person grabs the magazine that's full, puts an empty magazine on the floor, grabs the full one, slams it in the gun. That's what two loaders do with an autoloader. So naturally, that magazine cannot be too heavy. If the magazine is too heavy, they won't be able to lift it. That's the reason why tanks like these only have two shell magazines. Because think of it, you try to pick up a magazine that has two shells in it when the shells are like this big. Not a chance. You're not lifting that magazine if it's got any more than two shells in it. That's the reason why this tank has only two shells in the magazine. Because realistically, you cannot pick up a magazine with any more than two shells if it's a heavy tank. Not a chance. The 105mm cannon, that is a very big gun. Naturally, that type of gun, you would have two loaders. With a 105mm gun, you would normally have two loaders in that tank, and each one of them has to load both of them have to load one shell into that gun. One loader is not sufficient for a heavy tank with over 100mm. The reason why is because you need two people to lift it. You need two people to lift the shell and slam it into the gun. So in reality, you really have to pay very close attention to small details. Because people think, oh, it's great, it's an autoloader. Yeah, but how big is the gun are we talking about? If this is a really huge gun, if this is over 90mm gun with an autoloader, don't you think it's going to take them a long time to reload that magazine? That magazine must weigh a metric ton. They have to slam that heavy magazine into that gun and then lock it. And if they have two loaders, they can do it. This tank only has one loader, which means that one loader has to yank the empty magazine out, place it on the floor, fill that magazine with two shells, close it, lock it, lift the magazine up, carry it to the gun, slam it in the gun. He has to go through all that every single time the guy fires. By himself with no help. So if you happen to pick this tank up, please, I beg you, give the loader everything you've got. Give him as much help as you can give him. Give him the best loading skills you can give him. Give him the best skills. Give him the best opportunities to do his best job, because loading a magazine-loaded heavy tank with shells that big is not an easy task. For him to be by himself, that's not an easy task. This tank must be a very slow loading tank. That is the drawback of this tank. So keep this in mind. So when you do get this tank, make sure you do everything in your power to make the loading process faster. Because reloading magazines must be really heavy with only one loader. Don't forget, there's only one loader. There's not two, there's one. Moving on. We have 2 more boxes. We're going to open them up one at a time. Okay. Personal reserve, universal booklet, 3 days of premium time. Last normal box anyway. Alright. Standard tank reserves, universal guide. Universal guides is not 50,000 experience for crew, it's 100,000. Now we have no more standard boxes. We're moving on to the fragments. Fragments are higher level boxes. First box, oh. Okay, we got something good. There we go. We got a core box, which is the next step up. That's the next level up. That's a good thing. Core boxes, you want a core box. Okay, now here's what's in the fragment boxes. The standard boxes have premium time. These have 3D attachments. Now, this gives us a universal guide, 1,500 free experience, and a 3D attachment to put on one of your tanks. Standard personal reserves, normal, 5,000 free experience, and a core shard, which is the next step up. We'll open that later. Standard personal reserves, 1,500 free experience. And we get a legendary 3D attachment. The legendary attachments, as soon as you kill somebody, they animate. Depending on what they are, they animate. Now this is a grenade launcher. Now if you kill somebody, this thing probably fires a grenade. So this is animated. As soon as you kill somebody, this thing animates. When you pick up a legendary 3D attachment, it animates as soon as you kill somebody. So make sure you put these things, make sure you put the legendary ones on the tanks. You are guaranteed to get a kill. We're talking guaranteed. Do not I beg of you, do not put legendary attachments on SPGs. Ever. You'll give away your position instantly. Tanks that are stealthy, tanks that you have to stay hidden, do not put legendary attachments on them, because if they animate, you'll be spotted instantly. So make sure you know what tanks to put your attachments on, what tanks not to. Remember that. Don't forget. 25,000 free experience, 1,500 free experience, standard free crew XP, standard personal reserves for credits. Open up 5 more boxes. Here we go. Okay, we got another core fragment. This is a good thing. The more core fragments we get, the better off we're going to be. Oh boy, this is going to be fun. Another core fragment. This is going to be good. Awesome. Now, we have an epic grenade launcher. Components. Components are used. The thing you use the components with are the experimental equipment. When you have a piece of experimental equipment, you want to level that experimental equipment up, you need components to do so. Okay, now a component is used to level up an experimental equipment to make it work better. Standard combat XP for tanks, universal guide, free and crew XP standard, 5,000 free XP, 1,500 free XP, 1,500 free XP, and 1 times 5 mission experience earned in battle. This gives us 1 mission to get times 5 experience in the battle. 3 days of premium time, 1,500 free experience. Ammunition boxes, a 3D attachment that can go on at least tier 8 or higher. I think it's 8 or higher. Don't quote me on that. It might. Don't quote me on that, but I think it's 8 or higher. I think. So, all 3D attachments are pretty much 8 or higher, I think. And of course, we have our core and our core box, which we will open up as soon as we're done with these. As soon as we're done with these boxes, we're going to open up the cores. Okay, now we have 200 more components, 5,000 free experience, 25,000 free experience, 7 days of premium time, another legendary 3D attachment, universal guide, 1,500 free experience, 5,000 free experience, another universal guide, and an epic 3D attachment. Personal training manual, 3 times 5 missions for times 5 XP, 5,000 free experience. Last 4 boxes, guys. Then we're going to get on to the cores, okay? These are the last 4 fragments. Okay, last 4 fragments. Here we go. 5,000 free experience. 3 days of premium time. Ammunition boxes. 1,500 free experience. M25 rocket launcher. A 3D attachment. Universal guide. 1,500 free experience. Another 1,500 free experience. And another legendary 3D attachment. Next up, we have the big boys, the core. You guys ready for this? We only have 4 of these boxes. Only 4. So we're gonna open them. We're gonna open these up one at a time. Okay, guys? We're not gonna open up. We only have 4 of them. Now, this time we have the free and crew XP for gold accounts, premium accounts. This is only used for if you have a premium account. Okay, guys? This gets you 300% free and crew XP for 1 hour only with premium accounts. 750 gold and a modified machine gun. Epic 3D attachment. Okay. Another universal guide. 1,500 gold. Loving this. Gold's hard to come by in this game. Whenever somebody gives you gold, please and thank you. Say please and thank you every time somebody gives you gold. Say please and thank you, because that's some hot stuff right there. A Miriam lens, rare 3D attachment. 2 more boxes to go. Apparently, we got another fragment box. So we got to go back to the fragment boxes after we're done. Okay, we have our gold. Our gold premium combat XP for tanks only. It gives us 100% combat XP earned in battle for 1 hour for tanks only. And we have 3 of them. They give us 3 of them. They gave us 750 gold, and they gave us this. I'm not sure what it does, but I'll find out once I have it equipped to a tank. So, because we all know legendary 3D attachments animate. Only legendaries. So, I'm not sure what I have to do to make it animate or what it does, but we'll find out. I'll put it on something cool and we'll test it out. And of course, we got a regular fragment, so we'll have to go back to the regular fragments after we're done. All right, 200 components. Again, components are used with the experimental equipments. You can upgrade the levels on the experimental equipments with components. Again, components are worth their weight in gold, especially if you have an experimental equipment attached to a tank. They're worth their weight in gold. Instead of taking your equipment apart, you could use a component to upgrade the equipment you currently have. 750 gold and our rare 3D attachment. And we have our fragment box that we got with our inner core. So we're going to open that up. See what we got. We got 1,500 free experience. Can't win them all, guys. So all in all, we picked up a pretty decent haul, guys. I would have to say. We got a really, for 100 boxes, we got a grand total of three tanks, 100 days. We got 3 tanks, 2 French tanks, 1 German tank, 100 days of premium time. Plus, we got gold and credits. That's insane. That really, truly is insane. That's awesome. That's less grinding you have to do. Think of it this way. If you're grinding a tank, by doing this, you don't have to grind as much. Just use the free experience that you picked up to finish your tank. End it. Done. See, me, I can't use that because I have an entire country finished. So that free experience will sit there. Unless I decide to open up another country and start grinding that one. Anyway, so those are the shards, and that's basically what it boils down to. If you want to purchase shards, my suggestion to you is, if you purchase one box, you're not guaranteed to get anything. You're guaranteed to get one good thing after 40 boxes. Or 45, I think it was, right? If you buy 45 boxes, you're guaranteed to get one good thing, like this tank, or that tank, or the German tank. Where is it? It's right here. You'll either get something like this, something like this, or something like that. I mean, either way, it's a good haul. I got 100 boxes, those 3 tanks, 108 days of premium time. I got gold up the wazoo, and I got credits up the wazoo. So I'm all set. Not to mention, let me show you guys. Not to mention the universal guides. Remember those universal guides we kept getting? Look. This is what we got. This is insane. Do you realize what this is? You can max out your crew in no time with these things. This is insane. And we bought 100 boxes and we got all this. We got the gold, we got the credits, we got all the manuals we need. We got all that, plus those 3 tanks. That's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. It's insane. It truly is. It's amazing. It really is. If you really think if you're feeling lucky, then pick up 100 of them. It's not going to hurt. At the very least, you'll get what I get. At the very least, you'll probably get what I get. If you only get universal guides and you only get the credits, okay, guys? Universal guides, gold, and credits. It's already worth the money, right there. Them giving you tanks on top of it, that's a bonus. You may not use them, but it's a bonus. For me, I collect Soviet Union, so for me, I'm not going to be using them as much. But you don't know what the future holds with me, because the Soviet Union, as far as I'm concerned, I unlocked everything Soviet Union. Soviet Union's done for me. After 15 years, I finally finished the Soviet Union as a country. So as far as I'm concerned, it's time to pick a different country. So I'm going to pay attention to the tech trees and see how far I got in all the other countries. See which one needs to be worked on. Whichever one needs to be worked on the least, I will get started with that country. So, and that's probably where I'm going to end off. Because I don't think I'm going to grind after that. I think I'm just going to play and have fun. Anyway, if you happen to pick up this tank, I'm very curious to see what you think about it, because I'm not really up to the task of really jumping in this tank as of this moment. I can't really see how the loader is going to really load this tank, because this tank has an autoloader. And how is one loader supposed to load an autoloader with two really heavy shells in it? Extremely heavy shells. He has to load that one cartridge in that gun by himself. He must be exhausted after loading it 4 times. This must be the slowest loading tank in World of Tanks history. This has to be. Now, if it was a manual loading system, I'd say that's fine. You could do it with manual loading systems because you could load one shell in one person. Loading 2 shells in a magazine, unless you have a big tank with a cart, it ain't happening. Although it's a French tank, they could have an ammunition cart inside the tank. But isn't that a bit difficult when the turret's moving and rotating? I mean, the cart's going to rotate and the cart's going to move. Unless the cart is on rails, the cart's going to move all over the place. Unless the cart has brakes, the cart's going to move all over the place. And the ammunition on the cart's going to fall, and the whole turret's going to go up. So, putting an autoloader in a heavy tank when the shells are that big and that heavy, with only one loader, that is seen as, in my opinion, in my personal opinion, that's seen as a liability. this tank could be seen as a liability. In real life, this could be seen as a liability. You need 2 loaders in a heavy tank that has an autoloader. You need 2 loaders because the 2 loaders have to lift that magazine and shove it into the gun. Because those shells are 3 times the size that they should be, that they normally are. So it's going to take 2 people to lift that one thing up. Unless they have a cart that just shoves it in. I think during the Cold War they used to have built-in machines. And the machines would release the magazine when the gun was done firing. They would flip a lever and the magazine would come out of the machine on rails. Loaders would load the shells into the magazine and then close the back of the gun. Then tell the gunner he's set to fire. The really heavy shells used to be loaded that way with the magazine loaders. Sometimes they don't really just pick them up and shove them in. Sometimes they're on rails inside the turret. But this turret, I'm not positive that this is the way this is set up, because this is not a very high turret. Now, if you had a KV-2, I would say that is exactly how that gun is set up. Because that turret is very tall. A tall turret means that there is a special loading setup built into that tank. Now, this has an autoloader built into it. And that autoloader has no room. There is absolutely no room to load those cartridges. The turret's not big enough. Unless they have it on rails, which is a possibility. But if they do have it on rails, then they have to lift the one person has to lift the shell from the storage spot to the magazine, drop it in the magazine, then go back for another shell, lift it to the heavy magazine, drop it in, close the gun, lock it, then the gunner can fire. Just loading that gun with one person would take so long. In reality, in real life, that this tank might not be worth it with only one loader. That's my personal opinion. So, having an autoloader is great, but if you don't have enough crew to load the gun, it's seen as a liability. So, if this was a double gun, I'd say you absolutely positively have to have 2 loaders. You cannot have a double gun unless you have 2 loaders. Because it's 1 loader per gun. Alright? And what they do is they have a cart. My guess would they would load shells into a cart. And each loader would pull shells out of that cart and load it into that gun. When the cart's empty, then they go back to the area, load the shells into that cart, wheel the cart back, and both loaders are then. So in reality, with the double gun, you only need 1 gun working. If you have the other person goes to get the shells to load both the guns. That's the way I think the double guns work. So double guns have 2 loaders. They have to have 2 loaders to have 2 guns. An autoloader, you only need 1 person, like we have here. But the fact of the matter is, this is a heavy tank. Well, that's fine. IS-3A is a heavy tank, and that had only 1 loader. But the IS-3A was a heavy tank. It only had 1 loader. But the gun, the millimeter of the gun, the shells were so small, only 1 person was required to even load that gun. Allow me to show you guys what I mean. Hopefully I could find it, because I can never find that. I can never find that tank. The tank's very hard to find. IS-3A. Let's see. IS-3A. It should be right. T-115. I'm trying to find my IS-3A. It's here somewhere. I wish I had another row going up, because 2 rows not enough. I need a 3rd row. Come on, where's my there it is, right here. Now this is an IS-3 with an autoloader built into it. There's only 3 crew members in this tank. You have the commander and the radio man, the gunner, and the loader. He's the gunner and the loader. He's doing the job of both men. And then you have a 3rd crew member, which is only the driver. Now let's look at the gun of this tank. Let's compare. This is a 122 millimeter gun. This is a larger millimeter. This has 3 shells in the magazine. Again, this is a heavy tank. The other tank has only 2 shells in the magazine. This one has 3. Again, this tank has only 1 loader. In fact, they didn't even have a loader. The gunner is the loader. At the very least, the other tank had a dedicated loader. So the gunner has to leave his gun, go back, grab shells, load the cartridge, throw the cartridge into the gun, and then run to the gun site. He has to load his own gun. So this tank with an autoloader is a nightmare. It's an absolute nightmare. Now let's see if we can try and look at a normal IS-3 and see if the crew is any different. Because this is an IS-3A. Let's see if we can try and find the original IS-3. See if that's any different. Okay, this is the normal, average, everyday IS-3 right here. Now, where is the crew configuration? It has its own dedicated loader. See that? It has the commander. The commander is doing the gunner's job. Now that makes more sense. Having the commander do the gunner's job, there's still only 3 crew members. All right? Only 3. The difference is the commander is doing nothing. He's not really doing anything. So it makes sense to have somebody do the gunning and another person do the loading. The normal IS-3 will load 3 times faster than the IS-3A, even though that's an autoloader. A 3-shell autoloader, the normal IS-3 is still going to load 4 times faster, even though it's done manually, because it has a dedicated loader. The dedicated loader will be able to get the shell in that gun. He'll tell the commander, okay, you're all set, ready to go. Commander leaves his post, runs to the gun, fires the shell, tells him reload. Then the loader gets the shell ready and loads the gun. Then the commander goes back to the gun. That's a good way of setting your crew up. The commander doesn't do much. Make the commander do something. It makes sense. It really does. It makes sense. Now, why couldn't they do that on the IS-3A? That boggles my mind. Why can't the IS-3A do that? It doesn't. IS-3A commander he's the commander and the radio man. Now, IS-3 has the regular IS-3 has the commander, who is the commander and the gunner. Okay? And then you have a dedicated radio man. Wait, no, I'm sorry. Commander. So, who's the radio man in the IS-3? That's what I'd like to know. Okay. So the commander is doing the radio man's job plus the gunner's job. The commander is doing 3 jobs, not 1, not 2, 3. So the IS-3 is really... Now, personally, I think somebody should pick up the slack for the radio man. Somebody should pick up the slack. Although I can see the commander doing the radio man's job because he doesn't have to dedicatedly sit at the gun. He doesn't have to sit at the gun dedicated and wait. The commander can have the radio headset on while he's doing his job, running back and forth from one station to another with the radio headset on. So it can be done. technically, it can be done, but it's hard. I mean, it can be done on this tank, but it's hard not having a radio man. I mean, for real, a tank doesn't have a radio man? I mean, commanders do the job of radio man all the time. It happens. Think of it. Your radio man's job is to report enemies nearby and allies nearby. Is a radio man's job is to detect where and who is where on the battlefield. Hence the reason why you have a mini map with red and green guys on it, because that's the radio man in your tank. The radio man in your tank is detecting tanks and their whereabouts, and he's basically letting people know on a map where enemy tanks were spotted last. That's what a radio man's job is. His job is not to communicate with the tanks. His job is to detect enemy tanks and allied tanks and where their locations are. So the driver knows. Where they are, and everybody else knows where they are. That's the most important part. It honestly makes sense. All right. Now that we opened up the shards and the boxes, let's take one of those tanks that we just got, those new tanks. Let's take it out for a small spin. Except, we're going to go back into Last Stand. This time we're going to take you guys into Last Stand. And I want to show you guys how this works. I did one game of this, and I crashed, burned, and lost. Big time. This is a lot of fun, but it's pretty hard. I'm not gonna sugarcoat this. This is pretty hard. But it's a lot of fun. So it's fun. If you'd like, I can show you guys the story. I think we might have went over this, but
Siegfried perimeter. The sky over the sector is torn apart. The funnel is constantly bringing echo tanks into our reality. The local garrison is holding the outer perimeter but is pushed to their limits. If we don't change the situation, a breakthrough is inevitable, or worse. The Atlas complex has been deployed under the anomaly center. This is our only hope for it to collapse. While the echo cloaking device is working, the enemy can't notice the complex. But the anomaly, it's learning. We're registering periodic bursts. This means an echo tank of an unknown type is materializing. Its objective is Atlas. When it reaches the point under the funnel center, it activates a gravitational pulse of such force that the vehicles turn into scrap, and their crews turn into... already lost 3 Atlas complexes. Only a few more remain in our operational reserve. If we lose these last devices, we won't be able to close the anomaly. The breakthrough will be irreversible. Signature Curator. Project M.
so basically, the 3 objects he said he has left, 1, 2, 3. He only has 3 of these things left. That's it. Here's them 1, There's number 2, and there's number 3. That's the way it goes. So just because you beat basic doesn't mean you're done. You have to beat brutal. So set up a tank you're comfortable with and try that on basic. If you die too much, try using a different tank for it. I'm most comfortable with Type 59. That's why I use that tank quite a bit. But over the years, they've nerfed that tank a little bit and become harder and harder to work with. I might try one of the new tanks I got and set it up and see if that works. Hopefully that works. But let me go into a battle and show you guys roughly how it works. Okay. It usually takes a little bit depending on what server you're in. Depending on what server you're in and how many people are in the server. The game will take longer or shorter time. It all depends. Okay, now, depending on what equipment you put in there, that's what you're going to see here. The equipment you installed was right there.
Collect trophies.
If you have group heal, it's always a good idea to do the group heal at the end of your match. Make sure all your teammates are good.
The enemy is not thrilled with what we're doing. Prepare for the next wave.
Oh, you suck.
Don't panic, soldier.
Oh, I hate hedgehogs. They suck. Those damn hedgehogs. Son of a... I call them kamikazes, but they're called hedgehogs. They run really fast and they just kamikaze straight at you and explode. And you go with them. It sucks. I took one down with me, but that sucks. Now, when you die, if your teammates, one of your teammates wins a match, then everybody that died will come back to life. Wave destroyed, which means we come back to life, which gives us another chance. You can thank your teammates for that. But that also means that you do not get any more Miriam. So you got to be careful.
They're playing their trump cards.
Dear Lord. Got to be freaking kidding me.
New enemy group spotted.
Son of a... Oh, you...
Don't leave battle.
Suck.
You get repaired and head back in.
The one part about having a heavy tank in this mode, that's why I don't like having a heavy tank in this mode. When you have a heavy tank, it's slow as balls. I have a medium. This is a medium tank. But this is a Type 59. This tank was nerfed. Seven to 10 years ago, it was nerfed so bad that now the speed of heavy. They didn't touch the armor. They didn't touch the gun. They didn't touch anything. Only thing they did was nerf the speed. That's it. There's a way around it. But at the time when I got this, I didn't know about that. So, I never fixed it. I never had the opportunity to fix it. Now I do, but I haven't bothered with it, so...
One more wave. This is the last one. It's gonna be heated. Allied vehicle destroyed. 4 left.
Oh, come on! I don't even get full health when I come back? This sucks! I come back with half health? This sucks. Son of a bitch. Well, they did it without me. They did it without me. Good job, guys. Good game.
The enemy was stronger than expected, but we'll get revenge for sure.
Of course, I got less money because I died. So I killed 4 tanks and I got 33 data. Okay, I'll take it. Okay, guys. So that is Last Stand. Last Stand will probably be going on for probably until the end of this month. So check it out. If you can't pick up boxes, or like they call shards, pick them up. Pick them up in bundles of 40. Pick them up in bundles of 45. Because you're guaranteed to get a tank at box number 45. So if you do buy shards, buy them 45 at a time. Because in the 45th box, you will get a tank. A tank, one. You get one tank every 45 boxes. Okay, guys? That's the way it works. Every 45 boxes, you're guaranteed to get something. A tank. You're not guaranteed to get a specific tank, you're guaranteed to get a tank. You're guaranteed to get a tank you don't have. If you have a tank, a specific tank, it will give you a different one. It will not give you duplicates. Which means that it will only give me a Soviet Union tank if I don't own it. Alright, guys. So that's it. That's going to be our video for this week. Thank you everyone for watching. Really appreciate you guys. As you all know, the later it gets, the more my brain starts to fall apart. So I really would appreciate if all you guys can take this opportunity right now to like the video, subscribe to this channel, comment down below. Alright guys, you please give me some words of encouragement. Say, okay, good job. Because my brain, when it's this late at night, my brain is it just doesn't work the way it should. So I have an extreme problem with my brain, and nighttime is the only time I can actually do streams. So thank you very much, everybody, for all your support. Thank you very much. I really appreciate you guys. You guys are the best. See you guys later. Sunday night, 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, I'll be live on PlayStation Network. Check me out there. See you guys next time.